Hey, back with another one. So yeah, in this video, or this vision rather, I was I was just like in this field, I guess, and all of a sudden I was standing in like mud. You know what I'm saying? Like muddy water. And I remember whenever I saw that, I said to myself, I said, oh Lord, I said, here we go. I said, trouble. Because my mom, my Aunt Gloria, my Aunt Betty, my Aunt Judy, they always say if you see like muddy water or muddiness in your vision, that means trouble, so be careful. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh Lord, here comes some trouble. So I'm looking around for trouble. And then all of a sudden, it's like I saw this heavy set, Caucasian lady. And whenever I saw her, it was like she was trying to, get me to come over there and talk to her. And, but I wasn't like, I'm like, should I be saying like what nationality people is online? I mean, because after all, it is what I saw in the vision, right? That thought just came to my head, like if I, should be just saying a lady and putting the ethnicity out there. I don't know. Leave something to comment, what y'all think. Because as of right now, I think I'm just gonna, say it. So, but that thought just came to my mind. So, she was a heavyset, lady. And she was just rubbing her hands like she was happy, like she was there, like just rubbing her hands like that. I'm just looking like, the hell she got going on? And it was almost like she was a troublemaker. You know what I'm saying? It was like she was a troublemaker, like she wanted to start some trouble, you know what I'm saying? And so it was like a ditch, and then, a ditch with muddy water, then jump over the ditch. It was just like full of land. This was nothing but all muddy water. So I jumped over, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that I was trying to get away from, but I was going somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So I made it over the ditch, and whenever I looked, it was like nothing but freaking heads, bro. Just freaking heads, like with no bodies on them, but they were just like, they had like a stake stuck up, it was just a head with a stake stuck in them, and it was just like all in freaking like this in line, this bunch of them. And I'm like, what the heck is this? You know what I'm saying? And then what I'm about to do, I hope it don't scare y'all, but it scared me. And I'm just looking at them, and then all of a sudden, one of the heads just did this. But it turned to look at me. But whenever I made eye contact with this freaking head, it had so much hate. It had so much hate in its eyes. It scared the hell out of me. Like if you're watching a scary movie and you see how the head is like turned, that kind of scares you. It was like that. You know what I'm saying? And but it had so much hate, and it really wasn't the way how the head turned scared. Well, that scared me too, but it was the hate that I saw in this thing's eyes. You know what I'm saying? Or this person's eyes. And I didn't understand why this person had this much hate for me. I never saw this person before in my head. I mean, in my life. And so I woke up. You know what I'm saying? And I was glad to get up out of that bad boy, because, like I said, it was just I didn't understand that dream. I didn't understand why I had it. I didn't understand it. But I did understand it, because because you got to be careful when you put stuff online, because they big on hate speech and stuff like that, right? You know what I'm saying? So but all these heads was a particular people. You know what I'm saying? They was an ethnic group of people, and I got to be careful how I say that, because you know what I'm saying? Because it's not hate or anything like that, but you know, it's so censored it could pick it up the wrong way, right? You know what I'm saying? So by me knowing who these people was, and by me knowing most time when I get on a job site with these people, it's like, oh Lord, I gotta watch my back, because they're gonna get together, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to get you ran off the job. You know what I'm saying? This is known across the whole world if you work with these people. It ain't no secret, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to say it in that tone, and then whoever watch it, especially if they one of those people, they're automatically know, man, he talking about us. You know what I'm saying? Or if you do work in construction or anything like that, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's definitely talking about them. I experience this all the time with them. You know what I'm saying? So it was them people. It was that particular people, and so that's why I knew like what it was. So I told my ex-wife, I said, baby, I said, look, I had this freaking dream, and I said, you know, I said I'm gonna get on the job site to where it's all of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this ain't gonna be no one other, no other race like me, other than, you know, it's gonna be all them. So it's like we was waiting on it. You know what I'm saying? We waited, man. You know, when you hear me say my videos, you're gonna always hear me say things in 3, 6, 9s. You know what I'm saying? A lot, and I hadn't really paid attention to that, but a lot of my stuff is you know, what happened in those sequence. So it was 3 months up the road whenever I finally ended up on the project, and this came to life. This came to reality. So it was one that I went to. You know, it was like some there, this race here, this ethnic group here, there. So I said, baby, this could be the one. But she goes, well, you remember you said it was just all them? I said, I know, but I said, I'm gonna see. But it wasn't out. And then another time came to where it was more of, you know, that group, but it was still other groups out there. So, and I almost thought it was that, because I'm just always hunting, bro. I'm hunting. You know what I'm saying? Because I be wanting to get these things over with. I be wanting to like get them over with. And it never, they wasn't out neither. And so the dream, you know, what do you call it? Is it astro travel? See, I gotta be doing my research on stuff like before I get on here. It's the ones where you actually see something while you're awake. You know what I'm saying? Other than you sleeping. So, but anyway, it was the same time where I had the little girl, you know, that was skipping. You know what I'm saying? In the store, the grocery store I went to, whenever I knew that I was gonna have a daughter. So it was in that same time. So we was, like I said, our hotel was in Oregon, but we had to cross the bridge to work on the wind turbines in Michigan. So I go to work, and I fly out there, get all my stuff together, and I pull up at the job site the next day, and boom, it was, you know, them everywhere. It was them everywhere, man. When I tell you, it was hundreds of people out there, bro. When I tell you, I was the only so-called black person out there. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I immediately, I said, this is the one. I said, this is it. I said, this is it. And so immediately trouble started, man. It was like they didn't want me out there at all. You know what I'm saying? So you know, time going by, you know what I'm saying? I'm you know, working with them, and so I gotta be the bigger person every second of the day, I gotta be the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? Number one, I'm the lead out there, so that's why they couldn't get rid of me, because they hired me to go. Actually hired me to go save the project. So I don't know if y'all know. So I'm a level 3 rope access rescue technician, so I can contract myself out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got like radiation NDT certs where I do inspections, but most times whenever because I contract myself out. You know, I have a portfolio you can follow, you can find me on. So some companies that's just trying to contract a level 3 they'll see my portfolio and they'll hit me up and they'll call me sometime. So that's what happened on this project. They saw me, they got my portfolio, told them what I wanted to make an hour. They actually gave me an offer, and the offer was way more than what I was gonna ask for. So I just took it and I flew. They paid for everything and I made it out there. So that's why it wasn't so easy for them to get rid of me, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just get rid of someone like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I already signed the contract. But nevertheless, they were trying since day one. As soon as they saw me, it was just like if I made them sick to their stomachs, bro. And so they couldn't get rid of me that easy. And so I was like, dang. I said, so anyway, when I was starting to feel that, I remembered about the vision that I had. I immediately called my ex-wife and told her, say, this is the one, baby. So she already knew how gifted I was and stuff like that. So we already knew that I was gonna be protected. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I calmed down, you know, because I felt very uncomfortable, the energy that I felt, the negativity that I felt, I was like, oh my God, I gotta deal with this. But as soon as I remember the vision, it was like I knew I was good. I'm like, oh, now I'm about to handle them. Now I'm gonna pick at them now, because I know who was on my side. So they don't know that I had this vision, so they don't know how I'm just like even bobbing and weaving them through them like they ain't even phasing me. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how I'm doing this, but it's because I already had that dream. And their heads was chopped off because God was just showing me like they ain't gonna be even how you kill something, chop his head off. You know what I'm saying? That's how you kill a snake, chop his head off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever killed. I grew up in the country, like I said, but I also live in the cities a lot of my life. So when we would kill snakes in the country, if we didn't chop their heads off, the next day we go back, that snake gone. You know what I'm saying? That's like no lie, bro. You know what I'm saying? If it seemed like if we didn't chop his head off, that snake was gone the next day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if a rodent or something came and got it, but it was gone the next day. Because if we chopped the head off, it would be in the same spot. The next day it's in the same spot. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that completely dismantled a person, right? If you ain't got nothing but your head. So I knew they couldn't touch it. So I think I stayed out there 2 months, man. You know what I'm saying, on that project, man. You know, I made a nice little change on it. Stayed out there 2 months. So within all that happening, man, this had one of the supervisors, his because they was all family, man. You know what I'm saying? It was all family. So one of the dudes, guys, he was a superintendent, and his wife was out there working with him. And this woman she wanted me, you know what I'm saying? It's like she wanted me. And she was just, you know, she wanted me, man. And whenever I saw that, I said, because she would do things in front of his face to piss him off. So I said, she was the woman that was in the vision. That's why she was just, you know, that was her. You know what I'm saying? And this woman was like that, man. She was just whipping it up, man. She was making it obvious. You know what I'm saying? Poor guy, man. She was making it obvious, you know, but you know, me, so one thing about me, I'm like my dad, right? You know what I'm saying? My dad, if he got a woman, he's not cheating on that woman. You know, he was married to my mom, he never cheated on my mom. You know, especially according with all my uncles would say how they would all go out and they would do things and they were like, man, your daddy, man, that man wasn't doing nothing, man. That man, he loved your mom. And that's how I am, you know what I'm saying? It's like if I got a girlfriend, I'm not cheating on that woman. I bet you any kind of girl that I've been with, they'll tell you that they know I didn't cheat on them, you know what I'm saying? But now, if I don't have a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, I'm free to, you know, do what I want. And so I was married, so I wasn't even trying to even mess this dude over like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but she was just making it obvious. You know what I'm saying? And trying to fool around with me. So I said, okay, so that's her. So boom, I got one. So I said I got that off the lick. I got the whole group. I got the whole group of people that I got that one out of the way. So now I'm looking for this dude that just had so much. I'm just looking for him. The one that did his head like that. I'm like, which one of you almost. But I said that though, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not trying to curse in my videos, right? My vision videos anyway. So I'm like, which one of y'all is it? Which one of y'all is it? I never could find it. I never could point him out, you know what I'm saying? Never could point him out. because it was like they just all had that same energy, you know what I'm saying? So one time they invited me to a party, you know what I'm saying? They had a party, and they had a party, man. And so what that made things worse about this guy and his old lady, her father ended up coming to work over there, and one of the guys that was, so I would give it was like I said, bro, man, it's probably damn near 100 of them out there, right? So it was that was just only the company that contracted me, but it probably had like 30 freaking maybe 20 contractors out there, and it was majority of these people that was out there, and but out of the 100 people that was with the crew that I was with, maybe like 4 of them that was like, you know, they was down. You know what I'm saying? They was down with the brother, but because they was actually rope access technicians. You know what I'm saying? So they really had no choice but to, because I actually had to turn one of the guys in and say I didn't want to work with him because he was just cutting up that much. So the girl that was, you know, trying to get with me, her brother was on my crew, and then their dad came. You know what I'm saying? And so whenever the dad came, bro, it was like me and Pops that got close like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't even intentionally done. Pop just liked me, man. So, man, you know, we was always chilling. You know, I was drinking and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I would, you know, we'd hang out. So one time they invited me to go over there, so I ended up going over there. And so me, Pops, and you know, his son, you know what I'm saying, we hanging out. You know what I'm saying? We just hanging out. I'm pretty much just hanging out with them. And so all of a sudden, the guy whose head was chopped off that turn like that, he had walked by me. And whenever he walked by me, bro, it's like, I said, hey, what's up? You know, I kind of spoke to him when he was walking by me, and he kind of, you know, he couldn't look me in the face, so he kind of, you know, smiled, you know, like, and put his head down. But whenever he did that I said, that's when I knew it was him. And I'm like, you conniving little sneaky little rascal, you know what I'm saying? Because he played it so good to where, you know, I like I said, I had to look around. I was hunting because I wanted to get that person. I wanted to know who that person was, because that was his peer hate. So he left the whole party. After I spoke to him, he did that right there. He left the whole. I mean, he immediately left, and it was like, where you going, man? You just got here. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess he didn't know that I was gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? He left the party, man. He couldn't even stand it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I said, I got your ass now. So you know, we had a good time, bro. You know, we had a good time, man. And that was my first time hanging out with a group of people, that ethnic group of people. You know, like I said, they was all family too, bro. There was a bunch of them out there, and it was like they was all cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I met like the grandmothers, I met like the mamas, you know, like the nieces, the freaking nephews. It was like they was cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? They was A-OK, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was real A-OK. But on the job site, and the one that was, oh man, it was whole another world, bro, another world, man. So anyway, had a good time, man, had a good time. So yeah, you know, so anyway, at this point, a month had done went by, right? A month done went by. And like I said, I stayed out there like 2 months, so a month had done went by. And it was like after that month, because like we would always branch off, you know, because, you know, wind turbines, everybody going to a different turbine. So after that month had happened, and when I found out who he was, it was like he was like, it was almost like God made him stay around me, man. And not that I was tripping, but he was so uncomfortable with it. It was like he couldn't hide it no more. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't hide it no more. But you know, but they were still, some of them still would try to get together and try to get me ran off, to where it got to the point to where the owner of the company came out there. There's something that happened out there, man. So we're changing out some bus boards real quick, and then them things weigh like 100, 200 something pounds. So one of them fell from, you know, the wind turbine, they tall. So one of them fell from, I forget how many feet, bent the freaking decking, and, you know, hit the ground, could have killed someone. So the level 3 that they had out there, he just burnt off on it and left. So they had to do, they had a whole investigation thing going on behind it. So he just burnt off. So they can't find him. You know what I'm saying? They're looking up his license, because, you know, we got a license number. You can easily find it. They can't find this guy nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that his license had done expired and they didn't check it whenever they hired him, and so that way he wasn't in the system. Well, he was in the system, but you know, he wasn't like up to date or nothing like that. So when I came out there, I had the freaking, good thing my wife was graphic design, so I made the guys get on ropes. I made them act like they was working. So I took pictures, you know, sent it all to my ex-wife, and then she made that thing in the bullet points, everything, man. It's like we sold it. You know what I'm saying? Like graphic design stuff, man. That was so fire, bro. The way she did it. So we gave, so they took that, gave it to the client. So the client made them keep the contract. You know what I'm saying? So the owner of the company came out there to congratulate me. They offered me a job. They wanted me to be the guy that was going to start the program for them and everything. But they didn't have no worker. They were just starting. It was like they couldn't afford to pay me other than 40 hours a week. They could have guaranteed me 40 hours, but they couldn't pay me because we was making like, we were working 7 days a week out there. You know what I'm saying? Now 6 days, 7 days, yeah, 12-hour days. So from that to 40 hours, I was like, oh no, I ain't taking that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I work offshore. I'm used to, you know, 84 hours and 44 hours overtime. So you know, just 40 hours straight time, that ain't no money for me. So I didn't take it. You know what I'm saying? And it was years later they actually hit me back up though. They got my portfolio, got me back on Indeed, LinkedIn. Hey man, we got some more work, man. We want you to come, man. Can you come? But at this point, I was already dedicated to a company, and I was making good money. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even take it. But they did call me back when they got their stuff up and running. So but yeah. So the owner of the company came and he found out what was going on, and he threatened to get rid of all them boys, man. It was, man, you know, because they had a few superintendents out there. They was all congratulating me, man. They said, man, the safety guy, man, everybody. It was like, man, you don't know what you did for this company, man. They said, man, you saved us, man. They was trying to get the police on this other guy. That's how bad this stuff was. That's how bad this stuff was. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off into all that, but you know, again, there's another vision that I had. So so I know I said the one about the weights and how that came to life. That's like those visions right there hit me the most. You know what I'm saying? And the one my you know, my twin flame, because it's like they actually come to life, man. They actually happen. You know, it's like with my son. You know, make one with that. That came to life. You know, it's like those just. I don't know how to explain it, man. You know what I'm saying? Just other than me just being happy that you know, that I'm on God's side like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, it just makes me feel like I'm just super protected, you know? Because I am, you know, because we are, you know, not just me, the chosen ones we are, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why we go through what we go through. But just on a personal level, you know, you know, you should be happy about that. You know what I'm saying? However you feel about it, you should experience that. Because if you don't, you're gonna be worrying about what other people thinking. Oh, you thinking you better than someone? Oh, because they don't have this gift. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, explore yourself. That's what's gonna elevate you to the next one, man. Don't feel bad for because God chose you this way. He didn't chose that person, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel bad for that. Take your power, take your joy, and run with it, man. Be happy. Cut flips, man. You know what I'm saying? Frontwards and backwards. You know, so go do anything, man, and be joyful with that. But that's what he gave it to you for. That's what he wants you to feel. And so anyway, before the project was over, I ended up firing. You know, they fired one guy. That boy hit me up on Facebook. You son of a blah blah blah. You got me fired. That's my job. Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And his sister was having sex with one of the owners of the company, and then she couldn't even get him back on the job site. That's how much. That wasn't my power. That was God's power. When God was ready to move him, he moved him out of the way, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. That's the type of power that we have. We just gotta know how to tap into it, y'all, and really accept God to the fullest, and don't be afraid of, you know, of exploring your power, man. So yeah, so that was that video. You know what I'm saying? I know I like to do, like, you know, quick caps on them, but I guess I just did that. The quick cap was, you know, the guy did get fired. You know what I'm saying? I did discover who that guy was that just had pure hate in his heart. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the job ended up safe. You know, it was a good job, y'all. To say that I didn't want to, you know, be on it from the energy that I got when I first walked up to him, but it ended up being a good job. So it was almost like one of those situations where, you know how God will make your enemy your footstool. Man, he made all them people my footstool, every last one of them. You know what I'm saying? He made all of them my footstool, y'all. All of them my footstool. And, you know, up until, you know, there have been times, you know, like I've been ran off a lot of jobs since that. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't make those people my footstool at that particular moment. But everybody gonna be our footstool. You know what I'm saying? It's like we the chosen people, we the divine. Like I said, we the apple of his eye. And once we take over, because we are, you know what I'm saying? Before I die, I'm gonna see the so-called African Americans and, you know, the bloodline ruling the world again. Like I said, we never lost power. We still ruling it. It's just the evil side of us black people ruling the world. But now the ancestor God gonna change it over, and then we gonna take back over. And before I die, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna see that happen. And I'm 43 years old. You know, I'm not even gonna promise you that. You know what I'm saying? I just know that. You know, and one of those things where I told y'all that God don't want me to say nothing yet. That's actually one of those particular things. So, but as soon as the Most High let me know it's okay, I'm telling it. Because I actually told 3 people already. You know what I'm saying? That's so-called my kind. Man, them dudes look at me like, one of them was so mad that I had the audacity to tell him that. You know what I'm saying? He actually, and this brother actually got me ran off a rig, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say all kinfolk ain't all skin folk ain't kinfolk, bro. You know what I'm saying? Got me ran off the rig, and I'm telling him all kind of marvelous and wonderful things. And then the other guy, I recently told him about it. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of recent, you know. And you know what's funny about this right here is like I had so I'm leaving in a few days to go back offshore. You know what I'm saying, for like 21 days. And this guy who I recently told this to a few months ago was on the rig. You know, and he acted like he didn't know what he acted like. I told him, hey man, you know what I'm saying, because I got a bad report on that project, and keep in mind, I've been on this project plenty of times, and I won rewards, everything on this project. So I was like, you know, I was like a #1 person out there. You know, they knew who I was, but this guy was doing some extra stuff, and so they made it look like we got a bad report. But he said they told him that he got a good report. So I told him that I wouldn't sign in his book, this and that, you know what I'm saying, because he done that. And I told him I wasn't working with him again. So he sent me something back in text, how he felt, you know what I'm saying, making it look like I was crazy, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, you know, like he wasn't doing what I said he was doing. So, you know, I left it alone. And so now, and I would, you know, so now we're gonna end up on the same project, like when I leave out in a few days. And it was like I was about to get mad, but instead of me getting mad, it's almost like I just felt like joy. You know what I'm saying? I felt joy, I felt happiness. Because, you know, I don't want to come at the brother like that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't want to come at the brother like that. But I know it's going to be a different attitude. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think this guy even got this channel to even watch these videos. But if you do happen to see it, he'll see what I'm saying right now. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I'm not worried, you know, because I'm on this journey right here, y'all. I'm on this journey, man, and just like I said, God, it's so wonderful. I'm so, oh my God, I just feel like I can't be stopped, y'all. I feel like I can't be stopped. I feel like I can't be touched, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And it's not being boast about anything. It's just that I'm walking in my power, y'all. For the first time in a long time, y'all, I'm walking back into my power. And that's a good thing. I'm happy about that. So you should be happy about that for yourself too. So yeah, I'm gonna just end it with that. You know, thanks for watching the video. Love y'all. Walk in your power. Guys, the ancestors give y'all visions that came to pass, hadn't come to pass. Best believe it's coming to pass. Whether that's finance, whether that's anything, y'all, anything is gonna come to pass, and you're gonna be the glorified one. You're gonna come out on top. So again, much love, y'all. Hallelujah.